get that.
Well, that's typical. Are you going to go back and figure it out?
Well, I was doing that, and then you got angry that I didn't show up to the
Ang-
call. Oh, Jonathan doesn't know this probably. I had to get multiple reminders from Daniel that were very punctual, like on the hour. He was like, "This is your 24-hour notice before recording," and then this is your like 4-hour notice before recording.
Look, it's not personal, Ainsley, but I think you're pretty aware that you don't have the best track record in making these episodes.
I don't think I can be fully to blame for that, though.
I didn't say you're fully to blame. Again, it's not, anything personal. It's just very personal. I think
I'm
you're in
here.
the top 5 of backing out of commitments.
Who's number one?
I don't know. I don't have them ranked. I'm just.
It seems like you do.
All right, number 1. Okay, I'll think about it. We'll go to the theme song. This is the Experience Podcast with me and someone else.
Jonathan.
Ainsley.
Okay, anyway.
I didn't know I was going first. Like, come on. Like, there's no preparation there.
I get yelled at every time that I talk too soon.
Again, I'm not yelling at you, Ainsley. It's a stern talk.
I get a glare.
He's just trying to help you out, you know?
Are you in a uniform?
Yeah, I mean, I have work today, Ainsley. I have stuff going on.
I didn't know
he's a working man.
I'm a working man, okay? I also
He's bringing in that money. Fighting fires.
That's part of the job. It's not the main job. It's a small part. Right now, it's all my job. But I go back to the classroom in a week. So, more tests.
Well, I hope they have someone looking after, everything while you're getting trained. We want to see on the news Daniel Silverstein too busy at fire training, nuclear power plant melts down.
Well, I don't do that. I'm not qualified to operate it yet.
Yeah.
I don't even know how any of that works. So
we'll talk about that later. But Ainsley, you're looking for a job.
I mean, am I really at the moment? At the moment, I'm just trying to manage this semester.
What's so complicated?
I took a nice week-long break from doing work because I thought I deserved it.
In the middle of the semester?
It was last week. We had a 4-day week, and I had done all my work leading up to that week, and I was like 100% caught up and ahead. So I was like, oh, I'll take this week off. I'll just go to lectures. I won't do my other assignments because nothing's due for another week. And now this week sucks, and I have 3 more midterms next week and 2 tomorrow.
Okay, see, most people, I think you're on the right track there, Ainsley. A lot of people will do what you did, but they take 1 day off, take an evening off. They don't take a full week off. Jonathan?
Yeah, no. See, today was my day off. I watched or this afternoon was. I watched 5 episodes of Community instead of doing work. But also I was up doing work at 6 a.m. So it balances out,
I went to sleep at 6 a.m. So.
Oh my gosh.
I go to work.
Really match.
Have you taken health, Ainsley? Have you taken health?
Here
APPH? Yeah.
No, I have not yet.
Okay, well, you need to sign up for it next semester so they can teach you about going to sleep before 6 a.m. and how it's good for you.
I mean, we're pushing forward. I got it moved up to 2:33 as of recently.
Jeez.
I mean, I understand Jonathan and I are on the way other end of the spectrum, but still.
Yeah, no, Daniel's super weird where he doesn't even keep a calendar. You just think mentally about everything you have to do, and you're like, ooh, it's 3 o'clock. I'm doing this now. What?
Yeah, it was 3 o'clock, and I was like, time to send Ainsley a reminder.
That just creeps me out. I wouldn't even be able to tell you what time it was And then it would have been like 4 hours later. I was like, wait, I was supposed to do something earlier. I don't even remember what it was. Whatever.
What were you doing at that time?
At what time? At 3?
Taking a break?
Hmm?
No, in your hypothetical situation, how do you lose time?
I don't look at the time very often. I don't have a watch.
Jonathan?
You get a watch. Always got to have it on you. You know what I'm saying?
Isn't yours like the wrong time anyways?
Yeah, it's 2 minutes slow. My smartwatch is somehow 2 minutes slow, even though it's like connected to the internet, which makes no sense to me.
Is it
But
a sync?
it's I don't know. I've like restarted it a bunch of times. I factory reset it the other day, and it just still stays like 2 minutes behind. So I have to like set all my alarms like 2 minutes early, you know? So that's just an extra step I have to go through, which is pretty annoying, but still got to have the watch though.
I've never heard of that though.
Yeah, I have no idea. I emailed like the people like tech support about it, and they were like, "Hmm, do all these things," and I did all those things, and it still didn't work. And I didn't buy like my warranty's up on it, and I didn't buy the like extended like replacement plan or whatever. So I'm just gonna be 2 minutes late for like the rest of my life now. Is pretty much what I've settled on.
Well, that's $700 down the drain.
It really is though. But what can you do? Maybe one day when I graduate and have a nice job and I'm making that engineering money, I can buy myself a new one that actually tells the proper time. Or I could get the like normal like watch out of my drawer and right next to me and put it on and be right, but it doesn't count my steps. It doesn't tell me how long I slept or anything. So what's the use
Superman's
of
double
that?
watch.
Oh, now that's an idea. That's an
Yeah.
idea. I guess I'd have to figure out if I'm gonna like two on one wrist or double wrist it, but I like that. Catch me at band practice tomorrow, knowing the time and my steps for once.
Can you get like the 5 different watches, but like each one is like the different time zone? So you're like, what time is it in Europe right now? That'd be
I
great.
like the way you think. I like the way you think. We might could do this.
Oh, did you hear that someone was positive in the band?
Yes, yes.
It's not a
Honestly,
trumpet, I'm hoping.
it's not. So my guess, I don't know if I should be even saying any of this, is
This
it's
comes
not a
out.
trumpet
This comes
because
out
like
the 29th. So by then, this information will be out.
yeah, I don't know. I haven't been notified that I was in contact with them. So then I assume they don't play trumpet, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then like there was like no degrees like connecting me. So then like I assume they don't play clarinet either because they played clarinet. Kenna would have been like a first degree connection. I would have been like second or whatever. So I don't know. Honestly, I think it's pretty impressive that we're what like 4 weeks into the semester. Are we 4 weeks into the semester and like a group of 200 people just had their first person test positive? 5 weeks, yeah. I mean that's honestly pretty good. So I
We had
got
a
my
couple
negative test
scares.
results, so I'm running with it.
Yeah, my brother's at University of Miami, and he was saying that he was like bragging in our family group chat earlier. He's like, "Ha, I tested negative once again," and I was like, "Oh, like how many times have you been tested?" He was like, "Twice." I was like, "I just went for my 8th test," and I'm like, "All negative, baby."
Yeah, I've gotten tested like once a week just with like the on-campus testing, and there have been like 3 times I've gone off campus on the weekend and gotten one because like my like pool got said, "Hey, you need further diagnostic testing." So I was like, "Oh my god, I better not have COVID." And I wouldn't find out till like the next week, so I went and just got tested on my own and was fine. But yeah, wild, but we'll be all right. We just need to make a band out of only the trumpet section because we know we're good. Just remove all the other sections.
Hey, it would sound pretty similar. Not gonna lie, we are a
And then
dominant
we
section in the band.
and then we could have the whole section of the game on Saturday instead of half of it.
True.
There we go. But yeah, so I'll see what happens with that. I don't know.
Daniel.
I have nothing to contribute.
You have nothing. You're telling me you aren't living in constant fear of one of the 200 people you spend 2 hours with 3 days a week contracting COVID and then giving it to you?
Well,
I can't say I do, honestly, but
Feel like I should be more scared. Like I was really scared at the beginning, and now I'm like getting worried because I'm not scared. So I want someone close to me to like have a scare, so that I'm back to being like terrified.
I feel like that's when you've already got like 2 tests that you're stressed out about, you don't need to stress about getting being
Like
positive for
pandemic.
COVID too. So
I mean, it would
yeah,
help me get my studies back on track.
it would. You'd have nothing to do but study.
I mean, I have a lot of seasons of Criminal Minds to watch before the year's over because they're about to delete it off of Netflix. So
That's so sad.
where's it going?
I don't know. It's just like one of those shows that like where Netflix is not going to have it next year.
What network is it on?
Netflix.
That's not the original. Oh, was it a Netflix? It's not a Netflix original. It's
No,
CBS.
it's not. I don't know what it is. Yeah, something.
CBS. Yeah, you got to get CBS All Access.
I have that. I think. That's how I watched the football game last Saturday.
On CBS All Access?
Oh wait, no, the football game was on ABC. What did I watch? I watched another football game on CBS or whatever. Apparently, if you get AT&T Uverse, you get access to like
Oh,
everything. So
You may get like a year for free or something.
yeah, I don't know.
Oh, well, that doesn't make any sense. AT&T is HBO. I don't know what you did, Jonathan.
I have no idea, but I put in my dad's email and password, and it said, "Hey, you can watch this now." So
You can watch it on the NFL mobile app for free.
you can even watch it on the fantasy football app, like the ESPN one.
Okay, yeah, but it's the same thing.
Y'all really tried to get me to join the trumpet fantasy football thing when I don't even understand how football works.
Last year,
Okay, but like, so we made another fantasy league this year, right? Like nobody was joining it. Like the day before the draft, it was only me, Steven, and Matt Harris, right? And so we're just like begging like everybody. We're like, please join it. And everybody was like, oh, I don't know enough about football. And like people like Peter Tilley, he was like, I know nothing about the NFL. But we got some people to join it anyways. And then who would I play the first week? Peter, who was like complaining about how he doesn't know anything about football. And then he beat me by like 20 points because apparently I just like am an absolute fool. So it's going to be another year of just getting wrecked every single week in the Trumpet Fantasy Football League.
I think you've done it 2 or 3 times, and you've always gotten wrecked.
Yeah, I like, man, I spend so much time like preparing. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna draft like all these players, like go in like with this whole strategy and everything, and then I swear if I just auto drafted, it'd come out better. But yeah, I think too much. That's the problem.
Listen, Jonathan, I'm a champ. Okay, I'll look over your team later. On the podcast.
Well, it's not good. I'm trying to get everybody who doesn't really know what's going on to trade me players.
Oh,
They're
they'll take
like,
advantage of the Ainsleys of the world.
exactly. I'm like, hey Matt, like, oh, you want Odell Beckham Jr., right? You should give me Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Like, come
Why
on now.
is that Odell Beckham Jr.?
I don't know. I thought it was a good idea. You know, you live and you learn. Second year in a row, I've drafted OBJ, and
You got him last year. You
I
did
know. I literally draft the same exact players every year, and then just like am completely just shocked when all of them are absolute trash, and I lose almost every single game. So
But it's like the same underperforming players.
yeah.
He likes being
I just
consistent.
I'm too stubborn. Yeah. Yeah, Trumpet Fantasy Football League not going to go well for me. So,
You can have
oh
Ainsley.
well.
She's an expert.
I can't join. It's too late.
You could be an advisor to Jonathan.
Oh, I will definitely advise. I'll just think whoever has the coolest names. Or like that one.
Sometimes it helps.
Yeah, honestly, probably would have been better than whatever I did. So, you know, it is what it is. There's even like, yeah, there's a clarinet in the Trumpet Fantasy Football League. That'd be pretty bad if she won, but
Why do you
oh
hate Kenna?
well. What?
Why do you hate? Why would you hate if Kenna won?
Oh, okay. Here's why Kenna can't win the Trumpet Fantasy Football League. Because last year I was in a fantasy league with her family, right? So just like her parents, her brother, her, and then me. And I mean, her brother and mom, don't pay a whole lot of attention to football. And I took it way more seriously than anybody else did. And I went undefeated in the regular season. And so when we get to the Super Bowl matchup, and I'm playing Kenna, and I'm projected to beat her, whatever. I'm like, oh, this is great. I'm talking trash as I would. And then what her family decided to do was they all just like funneled all their best players to her through trades. So, yeah,
You don't have to
it
say
ended
that?
up. Well, they did. Like, it was like, you could still make trades in the playoffs in the way the league was set up. And so they were all just, saying like, okay, who has the best quarterback? All right, well, we'll trade them to Kenna for like whatever random players on her bench. They did that down her whole roster, and I lost the Super Bowl, which I guess was fair. It'd been pretty bad if the one person not in the family won the Family Fantasy Football League. So for that reason, the one person not in the section cannot win the Trumpet Fantasy Football League. It can't be allowed. But that's probably like the only time I'll ever get a shot in the Super Bowl either, but oh well.
I don't know how fantasy sports work.
It's pretty straightforward.
I got an idea, but I learned more than the last like 2 minutes of him explaining that than I think I ever knew before. Oh, never mind. Y'all just switched places.
Why?
Oh, I've like got my phone or whatever, and it was standing up, and I like flipped it sideways. I can't use my computer because my only like headphones that have a mic has the stupid like lightning thing on it, and I don't have like a dongle to go from my computer to that. Too cheap to buy one.
I was gonna say you can get an adapter for like $7.
Yeah, but that's $7 I don't want to spend. I can download the app on my phone for free.
Okay, yeah. So I don't care. I don't care what people use. We don't even have to use Skype if you guys have better, program to use here. Ainsley wanted Blue Jeans.
I didn't want it. I just assumed it.
Did we use Blue Jeans last time?
All I know is that one time when I was with you and Tanner, we just went back and forth between like 3 different platforms to see which one he could screen share on.
Yeah, we were trying to screen share. That was. We should do that again. I'll ask Dan if he wants to do that.
Do what? Go back and forth between all these different platforms?
No. Talk to random people on the internet.
Oh, that was entertaining.
Yeah, Jonathan, we just had Tanner go on, I don't remember what we were using. Omegle?
Oh, God.
Just talk to random people.
Wow. That's a throwback,
we couldn't
man.
hear them.
Yeah, we couldn't hear them on the podcast. That was the issue. So it's just Tanner going, hey, you're on a podcast? Oh, yeah. Uh-huh. No. It was just, we couldn't hear it, so.
That's fantastic.
That's why we were
That's
trying
fine, man.
program.
I didn't know that Omegle still like existed, man.
It was a vibrant community when we went on.
It's crazy. I think somebody just made like a Georgia Tech version of that. Like I swear I saw something on Reddit where like someone has made like an app where it's like that, but they're targeting it to like Georgia Tech students. I don't know.
I'd be a little creeped out though.
Yeah, no, definitely not something I'm going to be downloading or being very active on. But to each his own.
Ainsley's downloading it right now.
Wait, actually, okay, was it an app that just had text chat or also video?
I have no idea.
Because there was an app I saw that was on the GT subreddit where basically, depending on where you were, you could like click on a thing and have a certain radius and chat anonymously to whoever was in that radius. And then
Oh,
you can
I
go to
think
different
that
places on campus. I
that
downloaded it
may
to
be
see what it
what
was
it
like.
is. Oh, so you have downloaded it.
It was
Oh,
terrible.
Daniel was right. There we go. Yeah, I don't remember. Is it
What?
called? Oh, is it the one called like Bubble or whatever? Is that it? Oh God.
I
Oh
downloaded it because I was
man.
like, oh, I'm really curious though. Like, what if it's very active?
Go ahead and explain what it is. I'm still a little confused.
Okay, so it's a map of campus. I don't know if you can see my phone.
It's hard
And
to see.
basically, it has my location, and I can click somewhere, and it has this green circle that pops up with whatever the radius is. And it's supposed to be that whoever's in that radius, they can just send something, and anyone can respond to it. I looked at it though, like the first time it came out, and everyone was like, or not. I should not say everyone. I said when it first came out, and most people who viewed it were like curious. Um, so there was a couple people like, "Hey, I'm in North Ave right now. Where are you? Oh, I'm in Britain. Wow, this is cool." And that was like all the conversation that happened. And now I think the community is completely dead because it's been so long since it's been posted. There's nothing showing up. I should start it. I'll start a conversation.
Well, their only advertising that I had seen was on Reddit, and the post only has like 30 upvotes. So yeah, I have to say it's probably not going
Yeah.
great for them. But it seems like it seems like it would be just like Yik Yak, like part two.
I don't know what that is.
Yik Yak. Oh man, that was like a big thing in my high school for like a week, I think. I don't know. It was another app where like you could like go to like they have like a page on it for like our school or whatever, and you could essentially just post anonymous stuff.
Oh
And it
wait,
basically
yeah.
just turned into everybody like anonymously bullying each other. I don't think this would quite devolve into that. Hopefully, because we're not all like 16 anymore, and it just seems a little different. But yeah,
I just downloaded it because I was like, oh, that'd be cool to meet people. And then it turned out everyone was just like anonymous usernames and conversations were dead and there was no like, it was just so disorganized that it didn't actually work in reality. And I was like, oh, so sad.
You
man,
gotta be the brave one. You gotta use your name and
just gotta put it out there.
Name GTID.
yeah.
Yeah, just be like, hey, anonymous people, like, you want to like hang out, like, let's get lunch at like the exhibition hall or whatever. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, Daniel, have you been to campus since the campus center construction has happened?
I haven't been since late March.
Wow. Where are you right now?
In an undisclosed location.
Yeah.
I think I've told you several times. Actually,
Can you give me a state?
you haven't been on the podcast in like 2 months or something, right?
I've been avoiding you, apparently.
Well, you have. You do. I am in upstate New York.
Yo, I'll be in New Jersey in like 3 months.
Well, I
Maybe
can't.
less.
It's not that close. I'm in very upstate.
If I drive to upstate New York, well, it's like I'm northern New Jersey, so 4 hours maybe.
Yeah.
We
Yep.
can get some coffee 2 hours away.
I'm having to pull up a map right now to see how close New York is to New Jersey.
New York to New Jersey,
I have
they're
no idea.
literally bordering each other.
Oh, interesting.
Like for me to drive to New York City is an hour.
I think I mentioned this a while ago, but it's a shame that, of the current situation because I easily could go to the Syracuse game.
Syracuse.
Yeah, we're playing Syracuse in football.
That's what I'm saying. But you're
You
not
say
going.
it funny.
Huh?
You say it funny.
It may just be how it's coming out. Syracuse.
Okay.
It may. Maybe I slipped. Yeah. Normally you would have come up here, right? You would have flown up, but now you're not. So I'll just be
I was excited to go to an away game.
exactly. Because I'm outside Syracuse. That's why I mentioned.
I think you did mention this to me, and I just totally forgot.
I mention it like every week on the podcast. So If the listeners don't know by now,
Whoops.
allocation.
Yeah, no, the campus is like the student center is currently just a big pile of rubble, which is kind of interesting. So
Well,
they're like,
the construction is on schedule, right?
I think so. That's what they said. I know they were like 4 months behind at one point, but then apparently, like because of like everybody being gone for the remainder of spring and summer, they could like basically catch up because they could work faster because they weren't having to work around students or anything. So
And I think they said they could fix up, or they could finish the walkways first, which would obviously be useful for people on campus. You don't have to walk around and stuff anymore.
Well, we
yeah,
don't walk around much. It's just like that one corner of Tech Green that's like totally blocked off.
yeah, like where the camping is. They got like a big fence up. The camping is like inside the fence or whatever. And there's a ton of construction on West Campus because like there's a water main that broke and like completely flooded the street, and apparently they're still trying to fix that. So gosh, what street is that? I don't know. Whatever one runs down. Yeah, Hemp Hill. You like can't even drive down Hemp Hill currently. So I don't even know what's up with that. And then they're still doing construction over by like where the old GTPD place was. With the I swear they're putting in some kind of like eco-friendly park area there. I don't know.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Campus
I saw them building
construction never ends. Yeah,
That's
it
going
just
to be
never
an eco
ends.
garden.
Mm.
That's the buzzword, is eco garden. It's basically just a grass field with some trees and park benches.
and solar lights probably.
Oh, I don't know.
I just saw a bunch of light posts go up, so that's all I know.
Maybe they're gonna have like charging stations or something.
Ooh, fancy.
People always want more outlets.
And it helps them with their green space statistics. People like making flex that on all the campus tours and everything. I don't know. It'll be interesting. And campus will look real great in like 5 years after I graduate. You know, yeah,
Well,
it'll be great to come back.
it's always under construction.
Yeah,
It's changed since when I was there 5 years ago.
Dang, you're old.
Not that old.
You are,
he's
though.
really not.
Like, compared to me,
Really not.
we shouldn't have crossed paths because you were like the year beyond.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm so old.
He's not even that old. You know, Brian Coyle was old.
I don't know who that is.
Because he's so old.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, how much older than you is he?
Maybe
You'd be like 2 years.
6 years.
Oh, jeez.
4 years older than
Yeah. He I guess he was what, like a seventh year when I was a first year, I guess.
How does one become a 7th year?
Grad school.
He
Oh, okay.
5 years of undergrad and 2 years of graduate school.
I
Yep.
assume in-state, because out-of-state tuition would kill you.
I don't know.
No, he's from Virginia.
Yeah.
Dang.
I don't
Yeah,
know. That.
I don't know.
Yeah, so he was at 5th year when I got there.
What year was that you started?
The fall of 2015.
Oh, I entered high school.
Yep.
It's not that bad. Though. Daniel's not that old.
I feel like I don't give off old.
You don't give
No.
off old energy. It's just always like, aha. It's a shock.
Exactly. It's probably because I don't seem old.
Exactly.
I feel like the vibe of the section this year is really weird because all you guys like left. Plus people just didn't do it this year. And now I'm like, I don't even know who's here anymore. Like I don't know half the people in the section because half of them are new. And the other half I'm just like, I don't know who's still here.
Well, it's the first time since the Obama administration that I'm not in the section. So
See, now you are dating yourself, right? It is. I mean, yeah, it's definitely weird. I feel like it's hard for it not to feel weird just because like how different things are. Also, like I don't know. I mean, yeah, I'm like one of the oldest people in the section now, though, which is really weird. I
Wow,
mean, I
you're
think,
so old.
yeah, but it's like I don't know. It's just like I think Steven's the only person older than me in the section, and that's just like not how it's supposed to be. But oh well, I
Yeah,
guess.
there's cycles that happens.
Are
Yeah.
you graduating this year?
No.
Okay. I was just curious.
Why not?
No. I'm finishing undergrad. I'm doing 4.5 for undergrad, and then I'm going straight into grad school. So, but
You're not
hopefully I'll
gonna do
finish.
yet.
Yeah, I don't know how long it'll take me to do like the whole master's thing with the BSMS stuff, but they say 9 to 12 months. I don't know how reasonable the 9 is.
9 to 12 months. What are you talking?
Yeah,
It's a weird unit to use.
Yeah, what are you doing?
that's literally like what it says on the AE like website or whatever. I swear.
So it could be like 10 months?
I mean, I don't know. I guess what they really mean is it can take you like 2 semesters or 3 semesters essentially. But that also like just seems really short for getting a master's.
I did
You
mine
got it in 1 year, right?
in yeah, 2 semesters.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. I guess it'll depend on like how much credit I move over from my undergrad to the grad
If,
stuff, but
if you're not doing a BSMS, it's just coursework. Or if you are doing a BSMS, it's just coursework. So you're not doing
yeah.
research. So that
Yeah.
takes out a year.
That's true.
I would say I comfortably did it in a year.
You're also like weird with your schedule and like super on top of everything.
It wasn't
So
even that. It was 4 classes each semester.
Yeah, it's really not a whole lot. I mean, that's what I've pretty much done.
It
Yeah, I
would have
don't
been
know.
5, but I double counted 2 classes.
Yeah, that's the key.
And that's like the minimum. Because if you're doing it, well, yeah, you could stretch it out to 3 semesters if you want. If you just want to take it easy.
I don't know. I'm kind of like, I've taken it easy for the whole undergrad thing with the masters. I'm just kind of trying to get out as fast as I can at that point.
Yeah, I don't know how much.
Starting what?
Go ahead.
I'm gonna start making money instead of bleeding it.
Gotta wait for that NASA job.
Maybe not. Maybe not NASA, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I'm currently like the crossroads where it's like, I want to do aviation stuff, but all the cool aviation stuff is in California. I really don't want to live in California for the rest of my life. So
that
it's like,
sounds cool.
You could change around.
Ohio.
You don't have to lock in.
yeah. I don't know. We'll see. I got time to figure that out. I'm not too worried about it.
Are you against the North?
No. My
Like, I'm
girlfriend's
just
from
curious, like,
Maryland, so I hope
no,
not.
but like, do you want to live in the South, or would you be okay with living North as long as it's not out west?
I just don't want to live in California. I worked in California this summer and the income taxes were too high. I couldn't take it.
Housing is crazy expensive.
Yeah. I was like living in an absolute like shack for like just an insane amount of money. It was ridiculous. They gave me like a housing stipend or whatever, and they're like, find somewhere to live. And the only place I could find that was like affordable, like within like a reasonable commute to work, was like absolute like dumpster. Like
You can use the number to get like a 1 bedroom apartment there. It's like 1,800 a month.
yeah, it's crazy.
You can visit Jeremy though.
I could. I know. He was supposed to visit me, but then he just didn't come out there because like some global pandemic didn't want to be flying or whatever.
He didn't care.
I think he just doesn't love me anymore. Is the reality of it, you know?
He's got a big time job. He doesn't need you.
Yeah, I know. I mean, but it's obviously not big time enough because I updated iOS 14 today, and he can't solve all the things I don't like about it. Like, so obviously,
Oh,
he
he
needs
doesn't
to
help
get better.
anyone with that stuff. I'll ask him
Yeah.
those questions, and he'll be like, I don't know, Jeremy.
Yeah, I feel bad. Literally, like anytime I ask Jeremy like any kind of like tech related question, I like never asked him like expecting an answer, but just like hoping he might have find like just have one off the top of his head. But being Jeremy, he's not going to like not give you an answer, and so he would go and like just like do like 20 minutes of googling and then come back with the answer like every time. He was the local tech support guy, but he got too big and famous for us. Apple called his name, and he came running.
Well, Ainsley, if you're up in New Jersey, we might be able to meet.
Oh my god.
But
Wow.
I'm busy with my big time job and stuff. So,
Oh, of course. Of course.
well, yeah. Once I go on shift, it'll be complicated. You're coming in 3 months in December.
I was just saying when the semester's over. I don't really know what time we're in at the moment. It's kind of all a blur.
Yeah, in December. I'd probably be back on shift. Yeah, we'll
On
figure it
what?
out. Hmm?
On a ship?
Shift.
Oh.
We
I was
should
like,
go.
dang, you're going to the ocean? Sounds so cool.
Yeah, we should go on a ship.
He actually, joined the Navy. Yeah.
Of course.
Join Joey.
Yeah, exactly. Him and Joey just couldn't stand being apart.
I was gonna say I'll
Had to
miss
go
those.
into the Navy together.
I'll miss those like Thanksgiving flights back to Maryland with Joey and Kenna.
He's from Maryland too?
Yeah,
I didn't know there were so many
he
people from Maryland.
he literally wears like Maryland flag shorts to practice like every day.
he's the most Maryland person ever.
I don't
And
know what
that's
the
not even
flag
a
of
thing.
Maryland is.
There's no thing. Okay, hot take here, but there's no like Maryland pride except for Joey. Yeah,
Wow, I can't believe you don't know the Maryland flag though.
he and Kenna, I see in
Is it
the
the crabs?
I think Kenna especially lives really close to me. Joey lives a little somewhere else, but Kenna lives close.
Where are you from?
I'm from Columbia. Not really close, but closer than Joey.
Like District of Columbia?
No, I don't remember exactly where Kenna lives, but
She's from
close.
Annapolis.
Okay, yeah, that's closer than Joey. Joey lives much farther. Columbia is like 25 minutes from Annapolis.
Yeah.
I don't know. You're looking it up.
Yeah, I
Or
am.
30 with
Dude,
traffic.
Maryland's just
Oh, it's
so
near
weird.
Baltimore.
There's like so much water.
Yeah, there's a bunch of random stuff going on.
I drive to Baltimore sometimes for concerts.
Yeah, you can go like Baltimore to New York City in 4 hours.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's like a 3.5 hour drive and just stay in a hotel that night.
Yeah, it's not
Wait,
too
where
bad.
are you from? You're from Columbia?
Yeah. Well, right now I'm not there.
Well, no, I didn't say where are you. I said where are you from?
Right now I'm from here,
I'm not liking this.
Columbia. Yes, it's a suburb of Baltimore technically.
Yes, I see that. Like Towson. I know that suburb.
It's a college too.
It is a college. My friend's there. I don't know why.
It's where Joe Flacco's little brother goes. He plays quarterback there.
Ainsley, what's the problem?
I'm looking at my map.
I don't know why you guys are so interested in this. It's not
I'm just, I don't know. I'm just curious. Y'all can research my
I
town if you
just
want.
I have like no concept of geography for like anything like north of like North Carolina.
I
That's
didn't
Like
know where Atlanta was.
That's why you hate the North. Is that correct?
no, no, incorrect. Incorrect. I do not hate the North. That is I'm not gonna do that. But I still can't believe you don't know what the the Maryland flag is, Ainsley. Like,
I am.
looking
It's
at to
so
be fair.
Is that the Maryland flag?
No, look it up. You'll know it as soon as you see it.
because
You'll know it
Joey
as soon
wears
as you.
all the time. He
I
has
don't really pay
shirts.
attention to what Joey's wearing, so
I feel like it's just hard to miss. Grabs the eye. I'm not
do
saying it
y'all
grabs
know
the
the
eye
New
in a
Jersey
good way.
flag? Like,
Well, no,
Jonathan,
because it's
save that for later tonight,
what's
please.
the Georgia flag? Is that the Confederate? Oh, it's that one. Wait, why did I think
No,
there were crabs on it?
they do
because
like
Maryland,
crabs there.
yeah, Maryland's known for its crabs.
This is the Georgia flag.
I was gonna say, is it?
Kind of ugly.
I mean, it's nothing special.
Does it still have? No, they changed it out of the Confederate flag, right?
Yeah, no, now it's no longer straight up the Confederate flag. It's the like earlier version of the Confederate flag that people don't recognize, so they won't get mad about it. Yeah.
That's yeah.
They knew what they were doing there. They appeased both sides, really. Like, I mean,
I saw a Confederate flag up here once. Like some guy was driving it around on his truck.
what the heck? You see it everywhere. I don't understand. Like, I was even in California this summer. Like, I was like, whoa, that's about the last place I expect to see that.
Yeah, in New Jersey, like if I go to different places, not in my town, but like around, I see Confederate flags all the time, and it's kind of crazy. I'd expect it.
All the time. I'm talking about one guy here. Why are
Oh,
you seeing it all?
there's one that I know of that I pass. Like I would pass it every week. And whenever my family would go to the lake, our neighbor had a Confederate flag up. He also had like 5 Trump flags up.
Well, you really do hate to see it. I just think it's wild that like you I don't know. Like I'm way too scared to like, to have the guts to have that out in my yard, man. I'd be afraid like someone's gonna say something to me.
It's like
I'm so
do. Is
like
that what you're saying?
Do you want to?
what?
You
No,
want to?
I'm not. But I'm
You're
like
like,
I don't under.
I really wish I could
Yeah.
fly it.
No, 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 no,
It
no,
sounded like
no, no. But I'm like, man, I don't even see like, oh,
you're ashamed of your. Uh,
Southern heritage.
yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't say that I'm ashamed of being from the South. That's for sure. I mean, come on, I got the state of Georgia on my water bottle here. Come on, like none of that.
I get
I
told
mean,
I'm
we.
too proud of where I'm from. So are you too proud of where you're from?
I wouldn't say so. I think I have just the right amount of pride from where I'm from. I mean, Georgia is the best state. I will fight you about it.
Mm,
We have Atlanta. Come on now, you can't.
y'all don't got good bagels. Oh, that was a bad sentence. Y'all have terrible bagels here.
I mean, I see. I don't know what a good bagel is, so I can't really argue against that. But I also know that I'm perfectly fine buying my bagels that I get from Kroger.
In a bag.
Yeah,
Like I hate looking at them. At that point, it's just like a round shaped bread. It's not bagels anymore.
That's what a bagel is.
No, a bagel is so much more than just the shape.
Go ahead.
It's the consistency. And it's the toppings. Like y'all don't have like a Taylor ham egg and or yeah, Taylor ham egg and cheese sandwich. That's like not a thing. If I'm gonna eat a
but
bagel, I'm gonna eat it all right.
if I'm gonna eat a bagel, I'm gonna put it in the toaster. It's gonna pop out a minute later. I'm not gonna put anything on it, and I'm satisfied.
Nothing on it. Like you just literally just eat the bread. You don't even put like cream cheese or anything.
No, bread is delicious. Are you kidding me? I love bread. I could eat bread like constantly. I do eat bread constantly. It's so good. I also just have like the blandest like food like flavor palette. I don't even know what you call it in like the whole world. So
He does. He thinks water is a little too much sometimes.
yeah, I don't season like anything. Like tonight for dinner, I had like chicken where I just straight up like I just like threw it in the pan and cooked it or whatever. With just like a tiny bit of like salt and pepper, and then I just had like plain rice and like plain broccoli to go with it, and I was satisfied. It was a great dinner. It was very tasty.
You're living such a sad lifestyle.
I mean, not really, because to me, I don't know. That's to me, that's fine, and it's healthy. So we got that going for us.
Simple man. You just know what you like and you're good.
Exactly.
So much on seasoning.
Yeah, the amount of money I save by not putting Italian seasoning or anything on my chicken, one day that's gonna make a real difference. All right, this is gonna put my kids through college one day. Is not eating food with seasoning on it.
What are you doing with your camera, Jonathan?
What? Oh, I was texting somebody back. I'm not gonna
Every
lie.
time you do it, it like makes the whole screen like.
Yeah, everything changes.
I'm sorry. I had something very urgent come across the phone there. You know.
Well, sure. It was.
Well, which just everybody's like, oh, if someone tested positive for COVID, so it's like, everyone's trying to figure out who it
You
is.
know what
Come on
section
now.
it is. Can you spill what section?
No, I really don't know. People are asking me. They're like, "Is it a trumpet? Trumpet test positive?" I don't know.
We do process of elimination.
I think we should just line up every single member of the band and just interrogate them all.
No, we just gotta
Just
see
do
who's
it.
not there on Saturday.
Actually, that's true. Yeah, we can just take a look at the white band rosters, see what one person isn't there, and then
Also,
we
like the
know.
people around them are probably not going to be either. So see nice little like
Oh,
cross of
God.
what's missing.
Yeah, no, let's not do that. That's a bad idea. I'm not endorsing that. It was not my idea.
I'll take
Not
it.
getting
I'll
in.
take credit for doing that. I will hunt it
Look,
down.
look. When Chris
Well-
Moore listens to this podcast, Chris Moore, this was not my idea. You should not remove me from being a section leader. I am responsible. I promise.
I was going to ask
Chris.
BJ to podcast. Listen that message on.
You should. You should have BJ on. I feel like BJ would be great to have on a podcast.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I got
Who would you put
Yeah.
on there with him though? That's crucial.
Who should I put on there with him? Asking you.
Oh, I've got no clue. Oh.
Someone that will reliably be there. So that
I'm out.
eliminates something.
It needs to be someone that BJ would like to talk to, though. You know? Because I don't know if he wants to talk to you, Daniel. That's not like an
What?
insult. Like, I just don't know. Like, you know?
Wow. Okay, it's going to be a one-on-one now.
Yeah. You've eliminated your chances at getting on with BJ.
I would not want to go out with BJ. I'd be too intimidated.
I don't know. BJ's pretty cool. You could definitely bring him on, talk about lots of things about like baking and cooking
Baking.
and whatnot.
Broadway. He likes Broadway, too.
Yeah.
I almost went to the same show as him over winter break last year. Like, the same night and everything. That would have been fun if I ran into him halfway through a Broadway show.
So you're
The
following BJ.
The only issue with this is if I ask him to come on, he's going to go and look at the old episode.
I don't want him to. Like, I don't think I've said anything, but like, I
Yeah.
still don't want him to.
It's risky. I don't know what people have said. Well, Tanner has definitely been very inappropriate.
What? You're telling me this isn't a family-friendly podcast? I recommended
Well,
this to like
I don't
my
think that.
my younger sibling here, like my grandparents. Like, come on.
I
My
don't need
dad's
that.
trying to hunt it down,
Oh, you
trying to
said
find
so.
him. I refuse to give him the link. There's
You
no
went
way.
full on like sexist a couple weeks ago.
Oh, God.
So, I mean, it wasn't that bad, but you know, it's
It
10%.
wasn't good. That's what it sounds like.
So, anyway, yeah, look at BJ.
No, I think that'd be great.
I would listen.
I may just do a one-on-one. I could do that.
You could do a 3-part series with each of the directors.
Ooh.
I feel like Chris would be the hardest one to like sit down and just have like an extended conversation with.
I don't think I've said more than 3 sentences to him ever.
Yeah. Literally anytime I've like ever like had to email Chris about anything, and I've heard this from like other people as well. It's like you get a response from him and it's like, okay, that's it. It's like 2 words or just like one letter. There's nothing ever there.
But I feel like if you got him to talk about something he really, was passionate about, he
Do
would
we
talk.
know what Chris is passionate about? Because I feel like Chip, it's like, ooh, jazz. And BJ, it's like, ooh, baking. But like, what is Chris like?
He's obviously into, um, I don't wanna make it too general, but like, music. I would say
Ooh, music.
college sports.
You could do drum corps. I mean, he's the director
Drum.
of Spirit of
Yeah,
Atlanta,
How about that?
yeah.
Also
So
drums. I feel like he's always trying to talk about like
anything
percussion
percussion,
things.
anything percussion related.
Are you
He has
knowledgeable on that?
Huh?
Are you knowledgeable enough on that to have a conversation with
That's
him?
the point of the podcast. I come up with questions for him so I can become more knowledgeable.
Oh, so you're supposed to ask us questions about what we're knowledgeable about, because I don't feel like I've
Not
given
necessarily.
any insight.
It's a different setting. That would be more of an interview style.
Ooh, I have an
Which this
interview
podcast
series.
is usually listen. But I did that, for instance, very famous director Joey Bishop. I had on to talk about his short films. That was more of a
Was that
a
not like
serious,
2 years ago?
yeah, like 2 years ago. But we talked more about like filmmaking and that sort of thing.
Hmm.
Uh,
You've got to be wanting to start a podcast now, Daniel.
honestly,
Now I want to sit down and interview people.
well, I've also, I mean, it's a little harder this year, but hopefully this podcast feed will grow a little more, that we can start a second show.
Mm.
And because I could do like a sports show, but it's a little more difficult now.
Yeah,
For some,
considering lots of sports are just starting playing again, you were
and
out of content there for a while.
just organizing it too is complicated because that would be a little
Yeah.
more strict schedule wise.
You could just interview someone each week.
No, well, that idea is out. All right, scratch that one off the
Like,
list.
I would listen because
It's hard enough to book guests for this podcast, so
yeah, but then you only got to get one. You just can't repeat. That's the only problem.
and that's tough to get that one. It was hard to get.
Okay, if you interview someone in the trumpet section, like even for instance, if you interview Jonathan, right? I mean, I wouldn't listen to it on my own, but if I was like there listening,
Okay.
I'd be like, "This is so interesting. I'm learning so much about this person." Like whoever it was, I'd be like, "Wow."
I already did John Roberts.
I did.
That was good. I did an interview with John Roberts. That was something. I mean,
God.
he has just like an interesting like elementary school history, like just learning about because that's kind of where he became his own. You gotta listen to the episode.
Yeah, I gotta go listen to it now. Like, he's. I feel like John Roberts is just like this like mythical like being within the trumpet section in the band.
Really
Like,
is.
We uncovered a little bit in the episode, but really scratching the surface. I mean,
yeah,
I could have another
it's just
3 hours with him on, and still be scratching the surface.
it just blows my mind that he's like simultaneously like one of the smartest and then also just like not like people I know. I mean, the man has to ask me every day at practice if he's starting in ensemble or in sectionals. But then the other day, when he's sitting there, like, we're stretching, he's looking at something on his phone. I'm like, oh, what you looking at? And he's like, oh, my MCAT scores. I got like the 99th percentile. And I was like, what? No. Imagine walking or like getting like carted into surgery or whatever, right? And the doctor walks in to introduce himself and it's John Roberts, right? At that point, I get off the table and run. Okay, I get off the table and run. But nah, I don't know. It's just wild.
Did you get into his break dancing as
We
part of
talked
the
a lot.
episode? Because I remember, I forget what.
Ainsley? Ainsley,
Rip.
you broke up. Okay. Jonathan, are you able to?
I can hear you. I can't hear her. You know.
Ainsley's out.
Hello.
So it's
Okay,
not GG Wi-Fi. Oh, we back. There we go.
I'm
All right.
back. Yeah.
Go ahead and repeat whatever you said.
I don't know what y'all heard last.
As soon as you started talking.
Nothing.
Okay. Well, I forget what it was exactly, but I think John Roberts made this comment in front of a bunch of rats, and he was like, "Oh yeah, like I can show you all my breakdancing moves later if you guys want to see." And he gave like a little snippet of what his breakdancing moves were. I was like, "Oh my god!"
I respect it. I could not move like that. And even if
It's
I could,
impressive.
yeah, no. He's
Talks
like,
about it, on the episode, so you can learn about that.
well, I have to go give it a listen now because honestly, John Roberts is a mystery I've been trying to solve since like the first time I ever met him. So
You might have more questions than answers after the episode, but
probably,
enjoy it.
probably.
You should bring on the freshmen onto the podcast. You can interview
I
them.
don't think I know any of them close enough. Like,
So you gotta
I'll
make
give you
friends.
the contact roster. You can just
Oh my
reach
God.
out to them all.
Oh, well,
anonymously just like get one of them and be like,
Yeah.
"You have to be on this podcast with this dude that graduated so long ago."
you can't dry contact them.
I can
Well,
pop the question.
Don't make it sound like it's weird.
we'll just have to start plugging the podcast as sectionals.
Like,
Announcements at
go
the end
through
of the
that
day.
last episode.
Put it in Slack.
Yeah, we'll put it in the official chat. That way they'll think it's real
They'll have to
serious.
see it.
Jonathan, maybe you have this answer. In the band Slack, why is it that it's always the posts are always by people that are not them?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. So because people in leadership will like bring something up, right? And then they'll be like they basically don't have permissions to like post in the general Slack. You can only
Yeah,
post in there if you're like a staff ass or one of the directors. And so instead of giving like other people in leadership permissions to do it, they just have us like send in leadership and say like, "Hey, staff asses, forward this to general."
but it's always a different person posting for a different person. Like it seems much more convoluted to do it this way. It seems
Yeah,
like
I
it would be
think
easier to just give permission to people that need permission.
I agree. I feel like if you can trust us to like be in leadership, you can probably trust us to like post something in the general Slack. I mean, it's not like we're gonna be John Roberts and just be like 0 period, or like Emily Williams, like one of the clarinets the other day, just
Oh my
like
God.
accidentally sit in the Slack like gold, and that was it. Like, I don't think we're gonna do anything like that. So yeah, I don't know. It's a pretty inefficient system. Maybe we can get some IEs on that.
It just I'm like what? Why is
Why are you still in Slack?
oh, in case something happens. I got an email like, "Hey, where's your trumpet?"
I had it.
Oh, did you?
I was playing your trumpet,
How did you?
Tanner.
Okay, so it did get turned in.
Well, because I gave mine in at the end of last year because I couldn't fly home with it, and then I ended up not flying home, but I gave it in already. And I was like, I don't have one, and they're not letting us take new trumpets out. And then Tanner was like, I have 3, so I just took one of his, and he was like, Oh yeah, this is Daniel's, by the way, but
You
yours
need
is
to
broken.
You need to tell them because they emailed me. I was like, I gave it to Tanner.
Oh,
And
they know.
of course, I couldn't trust Tanner to turn it in properly. I should have known that.
No, I turned yours
it's-
in.
I assumed it got fixed by now, but
Yeah, I'm playing Reese's trumpet now.
why? What was wrong with mine?
Your tuning side was broken, and one of your valves was like kind of bent.
Yeah, it's not good.
Yeah, she was having to ask me for valve oil like every practice. I swear.
I asked like 3 times within 5 minutes, I think.
It
Yeah.
got beat.
Did you even play it, or did you just hold it?
It was
there?
it was that bad when I got it.
It also sat for all of quarantine, I assume.
Yeah. I think the only reason mine is in decent shape is because it's the one Nadia had when she did drum corps.
So it's like,
So yeah, I got lucky with that one. But and I didn't realize Tanner had become the like black market trumpet dealer there.
I was thinking he was my roommate, so it made sense to just give it to him when we were,
Yeah.
you know, packing up after the housing fiasco in the spring.
Yeah. Hmm.
it wasn't that much of a fiasco, honestly. It could have been so much worse.
Ainsley, hold on, let me read something out to you. So this is I told like because I told Owen this in real time how it was happening, and this is what he sent me. Okay, hold on. Let me find
I've
it.
heard him talk about 5 words, so I assume this is going to be a very short message.
Where is it? Oh man. Okay, this is what he said regarding housing. So basically, the timeline has been, please leave. We don't know if you need to leave yet. Get out now. Come back and then leave immediately.
I left. That's all I got from it.
It was a lot of back and forth. It was, please leave. Then, oh, we don't know if you need to leave yet. And then, oh no, get out now. Then it was actually come back, but then leave immediately.
I think I blocked out of my memory because I just realized now that I went home for spring break and then I have to drive 15 hours down here, pack up, and drive 15 hours home. I just totally
Yeah.
forgot. It's fun
Perks of being
though.
in state. Like, they like assigned us all like a time you were supposed to move out or whatever. But I just like the first day of spring break, I just came back to campus and got all my stuff and went home, so I didn't have to like deal with like the mass of people like freaking out. Definitely the move.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll wait for Jonathan to send that text message. And then,
You don't need to expose me like that. You don't come on now.
anything you guys want to mention before we wrap up here?
Um, I just want to say that yeah, no, I'm gonna start a podcast now and steal BJ before you can interview him first.
Sure.
That way, you know what? That'll be good for you because I won't know what I'm doing, so I'll just give him very low expectations,
Mm.
so that when he comes on your podcast, he's like, holy crap, this is amazing! I need to come back every week now.
The Experienced podcast. The
Yes,
Experience.
is it on Anchor.fm/the experience?
Correct.
Oh,
Wow.
look at me go, man! I haven't even gotten one of your pamphlets since like 6 months, and I still got it memorized.
We're on
Yeah, no,
episode.
you should make t-shirts.
Are you gonna make the design?
You already got a design.
Not a T-shirt design.
Make a sticker.
Okay. Are you gonna hand them out?
How am I going to get the stickers? I can't make them.
I'll ship them to you.
I would just put them all in my room. At that point, I just make like a wall cloth.
Well, that's not the point.
If you will make shirts and ship them to me, I will hand them out.
I will wear one.
Absolutely. I will wear one to practice every single day for the
Wait, that
two
could be the
minutes at the
perfect
beginning
shirt.
and 2 minutes at the end I actually have a shirt on.
I mean, it's a lot of money. I would have.
It's a lot
It
of
costs money
money.
to make shirts.
I don't have that kind of money yet.
Yet.
Well,
I'm still in.
but the shirts are an investment, right? They'll pay themselves off, down
I
the
don't
road.
think they would pay themselves off that much unless we get such a huge spike in views. I
How
mean,
about
it,
this? 2
mathematically,
shirts.
it's possible, but
But statistically impossible.
this is all right. Ainsley, last word.
I made a cool tape sculpture while I sat here.